My name is Gosse. My assistant today is Kieran Saviolobo. He is here for the third week, I guess. He's for the third week here. He's working now for us for more than three plus years, and he just started his job in the Netherlands. Yeah? Please, sorry? Oh. Hi. Yeah, Kieran is from India, and we are working for an Indian family company called Suzlon. Just one question. There are only a few from the Netherlands, isn't it? I'm from the Netherlands. Who's more from the Netherlands? There we are. And if we talk about Europe, how many people are coming from Europe? And then we have China, I believe so. And we had the United States. One or two more? Only one? Do we have people from other countries? Indonesia? Oh, sorry, yes. More? Oman? That's it. How many of you have to work to pay for the study, or had worked to pay for the study? And how many of you are all expats? I think we have a lot of expats here, isn't it? That means people who are moving from their homes, from the native area, and go to, in this case, to the Netherlands for doing the study. That's also a lot, isn't it? So you guys know what it is to live abroad. Okay. I lived for more than a year in Norway when I did my internship at an agricultural school. The last 10 years I spent 3 years in the United States. I spent, I think, probably 3 or 4 years in India. And I stayed 1 year in Germany. I worked there while my family was still living here in the Netherlands. So I traveled a tremendous lot. Lately, the last years, I'm not traveling so much anymore. What I'm gonna tell you today is something about our company, about Suzlon, about expectations. We have a lot of expectations. And when we start about expectations, there is a guy who wants to have a swing. He has a tree in his backyard and he wants to have a swing. So he is telling, I want a swing, and he's explaining that. I have a tree and I want to have a swing for my kid. Then finally you had sales. They had something in mind. And then, oh, this is still not working. How the customer explained it. Kieran, can you take it? Other direction. This is how the customer explained it. Next one. This is how sales got it. Yeah, this is how sales understood it. This is finally how somebody designed it. And then we had a next one that somebody had to program it. And when the programmer was there, we have always a business consultant. And the business consultant had also something in mind. There you are. And then finally, we went, how it was documented, how the documentation role went on. Operations, and then how it was built, unbelievable. And then finally, we had service. And what did service? We had a tremendous amount of complaints. What did service? They just cut a tree. And in fact, this is what the customer wanted. We're building wind turbines. In fact, that's not what we're doing. What the company is doing, the company is selling an opportunity for our customers to win some money, or to gain money with wind. That is in fact what we are doing. And for that piece, we are also building some wind turbines, a lot of them. What's the company? Oh yeah, there we are. The company is now 20 years old. Last week, we were 20 years, and we had a nice present. It's not working so good, this one, isn't it, today? Yeah. There we are. So we are at more than 10,000 people. This morning we were at 10,534 people. We are having places in more than 33 countries abroad, operations in Americas and so on. We're a fully integrated supply chain. That means that is centralized. The supply chain is centralized, so we do everything from out India. And we have manufacturing facilities in 3 continents. We have a lot of R&D companies, and what it is in fact is meaning that we are using the Western technology and we're building in Asia with cheaper labor. That's in fact our business model. And we're market leader. So, vision. Vision is something about business strategy. It's mission, vision. You can define it in all layers. You probably will have it. We talk about our vision. And why are we talking about vision? Vision is about where we're standing on this moment of time and where we want to go. That's about vision. Every leader should talk about that. And you are becoming the new leaders of the world. So you have to understand where you're now and where you want to go. That's tremendously important. This is what we want. We want to become a technology leader. That is what we want. We want to be among the top 3. Well, this one is also understandable. Everybody can read, I guess. And the last one, we want to be the best place on the world. We want to be the stakeholder of choice for every company. And that's not only at the ends of the company, but also at the beginning, so with suppliers, so that we are having a complete supply chain from A, or let's say from soil to up to a windmill. Then we have to talk about values. Why values? Koenraad also talked a lot about values. Values are tremendously important because now we're knowing where we're going. We're going from A to B. We all know that. But why should we have values? Well, values is telling how you're going to go from A to B together, to be on the same page, in the same book, in the same year, and so on and so on. So our values, the first one is agility. Agility means to being, well, not just like the wind is going, but to try to do your utmost best to make step forwards. And if you cannot go through it, you go around it or you go over it, but make your progress. The other one is creativity. Tremendous important. You have to be you have to come up with new ideas in your market. We're doing that every day. The other one is added value. We have to add value on every step that we're doing. What work we're doing, how we're doing, we have to add value. The other one is commitment. Well, it's quite obvious for everybody. And the last one is the last one is also noble, and everybody understands why that's that damn important. What are we doing with those values? And we have an appraisal system, and we have an appraisal system. We have an appraisal system that's going from 1 to 5. We keep almost everything what we're doing very simple. We try to make it as simple as possible, from 1 to 5. 3 is middle. So everybody who is doing what he should do has a 3. When it's better, it will be a 4 or a 5. It's worse, it's a 2 and it's a 1. And then the values are coming. The values are most important. If somebody is scoring under the 3 on one of those 5 values, the appraisal that year will be 0. There will be no bonus, there will no salary increase, nothing. It will be 0. Very clear. And even with bribery, for instance, that can happen. That can happen. We are an Indian company, and I will not say that it is that's easy to go along. But we have people who are taking money from the company. Well, it's very easy. They are out. And if they are part of a system who has done that and they didn't report it, they will have a very bad appraisal for the coming year. What is Suzlon? How is Suzlon looking? Suzlon is looking like that. We have our company. We are an Indian company in 33 countries. We have our business units. Those business units are in those 33 countries. And we have the supply chain management. That means centralized, everything organized from India, from Pune, headquarters in fact, and it's going all over the world. When we look to a windmill, we have a tower, we have a nacelle, that's the house on top of it. We have the blades, and we have the electric systems. Those are the 4 pillars of our company. I'm working for the blades. Sometimes I'm working for the nacelles, but most of the time I'm working for the towers. And what does the towers have? Oh no, we first go to this one. We're a family company. We are a family company. And what does it mean? A family company is like an onion. You can peel layers off from an onion. And the more you go, I think I have four of those layers, it has everything to do about influence. The closer you are at the family, the more influence you have. The further you are away, the less influence we have. Then we have our pillar system, the 4 of them, that are the companies. But we are a matrix organization, and you all know what a matrix organization is, I believe so. So in a matrix, you have all those parts. You have the verticals, the vertical leadership, you have the sales, the finance, HR. What does that mean? For instance, on HR, in HR, we have a managing director of HR. He is making the decision how the HR is going through all the 4 verticals. In every vertical, we have the same appraisal system, we have the same systems, we have them in all the 4. The vertical leadership, who is on top of it, they are talking about the when and what. That one is the how, that is the what and when. Very easy. But you already can see that it's becoming complex because we are a family company and we have matrix layers on top of it. So it can be, and it is be, that for instance the head, or let's say the door gater of somebody who is keeping the door open in our company is a family member, but he is not a high family member, but he is a family member. And the closer you are to the family, you have a lot of influence. That guy has much more influence than, for instance, one of the vertical leaders. That is possible in our company, and that makes it complex. You have to understand how that's working. And then, of course, we are an Indian company. We have our costs. Brahman is up. The outcast, the Dalit, that is not a cost, they are outside the cost. That's the system that we have on top of that. And we are an Indian company. Of the 10,534 people we are this morning, probably have more than 75% people are Indians. So we have to deal with this company. And if you want to understand that, if you're gonna live in a company like this, and every company has a system, every company has a system of its own. If you're gonna live in that one, you have to understand it. You are becoming the former leaders. You are becoming the new leaders of this kind of companies. And you have to understand, in my way, you should, I'm not sure that everybody becomes a leader. We have a difference between leaders and management. Like Koenraad already explained, I see it also. When you have a leader or a manager is very good in influencing the group on the right way. And in my belief, a leader is telling where. For instance, you have when you look to how shall I explain that? To an army. If you have an army, the management is pushing. They can tell you have to fight in one of the forests, and the leader is telling in what forest. That is for me a real difference. So this is Suzlon, very complex. We are working for SE Blades. SE Blades is a Dutch company. It's an R&D center, and in an R&D center, we have those departments. Aero, because we need a good aero profile on our blade. Structural is well, it should not fall off the tower. Materials, we have to use the right materials. When we make the blade, we need the right processes. Tooling is obvious. Documentation, quality, and knowledge transfer, I think it's very obvious. A project department, because everything what we're doing is a project, and product support. I'm heading the product support facility over here in Hengelo, and I'm also general manager of manufacturing engineering. Well, India. I spent a lot of time in India. In India, we are speaking more than 27 different languages over there. You have a lot of different people there. There are 1.2 billion. I probably nowadays already, I think 1.3 billion. Well, most of them, most of them are Hindu, but speaking a different language and working in a different caste. That is what we have to understand. Working in India, being an expat over there, what does that mean? How do you behave yourself? In fact, every person is the person who he is, and it is what it is. You should never change that. The reason why you never should change that, the way you are acting, the way you're walking, the way you are performing, the way are you keeping up your own appearances, it has to be as natural as possible. On the moment when you're not natural and you're behaving yourself differently than you are directly stepping in a lot of traps because you're not yourself, so you have always to play a role, and when you're playing a role, sometimes it's going good, most of the time it's going wrong, because on the moment when the heat is going on, and you will have a lot of heat when you're traveling around, you all know that already. When you are somewhere else, you will falling through the bucket. I'm not sure if that's the right English word, but a lot of people know what I mean. I hope so. So you have to have a right attitude. One of my attitudes is being as friendly as possible. I'm always telling the people, friendliness costing nothing. To have a smile on your face that will cost you no money at all. To say hello, thank you, and so on. And Americans are very great in that one. Thank you, sir, thank you, good morning. Also, a lot of Indians are very good in that. To be as friendly as possible. On the moment when you're friendly, you get a lot of things done. On a moment when you put stress in it and a lot of anger and you become a little bit more, what will happen? The other one will step back and will go. So being yourself and friendly, that costs no money at all. And it also is not taking a lot of energy from you. Or you have to be a real, it's always wrong. You have that story of the two salesmen who went in the 1900 over to Africa to sell shoes. And one was there, coming over there, telexing back to the company. Oh man, everybody is walking barefoot. They don't wear any shoes. So no business to do. The other one, he was sending exactly the same message backwards. With this difference, nobody is walking on shoes. So there's a huge opportunity over here to sell shoes. Well, if you have that positive drive and that ongoing stream, it will not cost a lot of energy. And then you can vary, I call it the G gene, the generosity gene. You can give away a lot, because giving away is much easier to receive something. Because if you're receiving a lot, you have to say thank you and blah, 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 blah. When you give it away, it will come back to you. The other one is stay as calm as possible. As calm as you can, you will always survive. Well, this is one, it's in fact everywhere. I told where I worked. Loss of face is in a lot of countries tremendous important. You will never, ever organize that your boss will lose his face. Very easy principle to conduct, to keep, to step with. If somebody has to take the heat by yourself. Never to your boss, never to your peers, never. Always take it yourself. Why? If you're trained on that part, life becomes very easy. Because you organize that nobody's losing his face, you will ending up in a win-win situation. For instance, Kieran will never ever organize that I'm losing my face. He will never do that. Do you know why? Because then I'm friendly to him and he will have a nice appraisal. And we can talk much easier to each other. On a moment when you are in that safety factor, let's say, if we look to production, we always talk about safety, quality, production, and cost. If we talk about safety, that means safety in leadership, and everybody wants to have a safe environment. I will show it later on, also in a small movie. You want to be in a safe environment. You want to work in a safe environment. Everybody wants to have that. So that means that will tell if you're in an unsafe area, so people become angry to you, you will not deliver anymore. Other principles in your life will starting up. If you're going back to becoming you as a new leader, very easy. Always organize that people are performing, and how can you perform? That you give them safety, so that you work for your people. And organize that they're not losing their face. You will not lose your face, and they will not lose their face. Language. Those two parts are everywhere on the world tremendous important, but I learned that in India, knowing what you say and say what you know without hesitation is the strongest power you have. With the other one, that is the body language. That is tremendous important. You have to have your body language under control. You have to control your own emotions. Every time. And if some people are asking you something and you don't know it, you have to react on a polite way. Don't say, I don't know it, but say, I have to think about it. Or take it with you. This is something, it's too complex for me, I have to think about it. That are the right answers. Why? Because on the moment when you say, I don't know, what have you done? You lost your face. So you're not losing your face. And everything what you're saying, you have to say it without hesitation. If somebody's asking you, how many people are working in your company? 275. In our company, it's plus 10,000, and I can log in a system, so I know that it's 10,534 people this morning. Maybe it's already changed today. But I know that. And if they're asking me how many people are working for you in the Netherlands, Gosse, I say 6. How many are in India? It is 4. I know it. I say it without hesitation. You can also bring it how many people are working here. If I would ask somebody here from HZPC, probably say, well, around 275, something like that. What will you show? You will directly show that you don't know how many people working at your company. That will give you no ground anymore, because people directly start thinking, what does he know more? What does he not know? Yes?
But what if you're wrong? If you're saying, well, it's 10,200.
534.
It's not that amount.
Then you're also falling through the bucket. You have to know what you're saying, and you say what you're knowing.
We had exactly this situation at Gosse Wielinga. We had 3 colleagues going to India, and they did a general presentation about HZPC, and the one said they're working 290 people, the other one said we have 275, and different numbers. And they were brought in as experts, potato experts. They have to know certain things.
Would they suppose I'm expert of potato growing, so they should know more about growing
Yes,
potato instead
exactly.
of like
Yeah, you would expect effort, and also for us Dutch, it's not that important. It's around the 200.
Because I'm an expert in growing potatoes.
Yeah, but
So how should I know how many people are working there? Obvious, isn't it?
that is really an expert on potatoes.
What-
Let's say it's relevant that he knows.
What I have seen in India, it is tremendous and important that on the moment when you have a question that you know the answer, and if you don't know the answer, you take it away. Easy as that. That's for me. In China, I didn't understand the language at all in China, so for me it was tremendous difficult to operate over there. We had how do you call it, a talk and translator. Yeah, we had a nice lady who helped me, but. What I learned is that in the language, if you're using language, you need also your body language. You have to use your body language. We had, I'm stopping in this one. Leadership. In 2007, we're working with a little bit more than 7,000 people. I cannot recall that number anymore. What I can recall is that of that, 1,007 people were traveling as much as I was traveling, all over the world for the company. And what we also were seeing that a lot of those people could not held it for a year, or in a year times they were burned, they were out. So we were looking, what kind of people are those who are going out and what kind of people are staying? So we formed a small group and we started an investigation on what kind of people who were stayed on board. So we made a decision on that one. People who had an appraisal higher than a 3, and people who stayed for longer than 3 years in the company, very easily. Because if it is a 3, they always score plus, and when stayed longer than 3 years, well, probably they survived or one or the other way. So what did all those people have? Those people had a lot of energy, a tremendous amount of energy. Of course they had a lot of energy, otherwise they could not travel so much. What they also did, they could give energy away to other people. So they inspired people, they could organize that other people would start working for them to get things done. Those people could make decisions, cut decisions. That means that they are making easily decisions in their own world, on their own paper, in their own job description, what they had to do. But if necessary, they also made decisions for somebody else, very easily. Of course, data-based, but they made a decision and they went for it. The fourth part was they got things done. They executed. So the 4 E's. E, energy, cut behavior, and execution. They did it very easily. And after a year, we found another one. All those people, and finally we had 49 people who had those skills out of the 1,007 people. Those 49 people were also passionate. They were scoring higher than a 4. They were very passionate about the things they were doing and of the things they were living. So you have also to ask yourself, if you are becoming a leader or you want to become a leader, do I have that energy? Can I give energy? Do I make easy decisions? Are weighing a lot? Can I get things done? And I'm passionate about the stuff that I'm doing. When you have that, probably you can easily travel around the world. What we also have seen, if our leadership, our leaders of our company has those 5 points, we consider them most of the time as the better leaders. They score higher and so on. Wait, 1 sec. Now what I want to go, what I want to show you, what time do I have? A few minutes? When you are a leader, and every leader has his own style. Kieran worked for me, and he worked for Hendrik, and we are 2 types of leaders. I'm gentle, I'm friendly, I'm open. You can ask me everything, I will tell you everything. I don't have any problem with anything. If you look to Hendrik, Hendrik is mostly considered as the angry man. He's direct, he's firm, he lets nothing go. If somebody is making even the wrong move, he directly clap on it as hard as he can. Nevertheless, also he gets all the things done that has to be done. So we have 2 different leaders, 2 different styles of leadership, and both the people can get exactly the same things done. I do it my way, he is doing it his way. What are we similar? Because he is more an angry man, I am more a friendly man. So what are we doing? What are we both doing? Well, I hope that this one will show it. This is about a horse. It's a horse that lived for I guess a year completely by itself somewhere in a piece of land, and then it was bought by somebody, and somebody tried to make a riding horse, use the horse as a horse, therefore it should be used. So ride on it and do the stuff what you want to do. But that horse had no attention of people at all. So that horse doesn't know where he, or it is a she, where she has to go, or he. It is a he, called chief. He doesn't know where he wants to go. So you can now see that the first leader, how he is leading the horse, and then we have the second leader, how he is leading the horse.